And I've had clients that I've worked with since the inception, like 20 months. I have like 4 or 5 clients who we've worked for literally forever. You helped me build my brand so well. Can you just like do it for me now? It's just write tweets, bro. You know what I mean? Like our whole business is set up in a way where we're trying to find like our favorite 10 to 20 people to work with. Mm-hmm. And then you just work with them forever.
Yeah, that's the thing with info. Like it can be a little bit of a hamster wheel in acquiring new clients, but with the agency and we run it similar. It's like a lot of our business, a lot of our ongoing, billable commissions are off of like a revenue split. So we sell the client once and then we work with them for as long as we can. And then if we want to make more money, like, is it higher leverage to focus on selling a new client or just like maximizing this one that we have?
Yeah, I agree. And it's like exactly like you said, like, for example, just so that the audience has math, like I have a client on one of my OG clients. We actually started on like a 1K retainer. He's on like a 3K retainer now, but we're making 5 figures in the commission, so it's like the retainer doesn't matter anymore. It's like how many clients do we have to now service to make that back? Like we have to sign 2 to 3 more clients just to do that, or we could just scale our current clients. You know what I mean? So it's like it's 100% hamster wheel. I think nowadays, like, people are starting to see the vision with adding a lot of people are adding like LTV offers to the back end of their info, like monthly subscriptions, and trying to get like MRR, which might help with the exiting. But yeah, the agency model, it's overpowered. I mean, you've seen it. Like you send out 20, 30, 50K invoices. It's like, why was I doing info again?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I think, if you do have, I'm trying to think of some other ones. Like you've seen some of these guys pushing TikTok Shop, and it's an awesome opportunity right now, but like they monetize the B2C side and they monetize the B2B side, and they're like raking it in. It's like, yeah, I have this community of 300 people paying monthly to get access to brands like yours. Like, pay us 20K. I'll send this post. We'll give them a discount and we'll push the hell out of your product. Like, I think that is if you can strike the balance and deliver well on both ends, like that is an undefeated model. I mean, that's what like I do kind of.
Yeah, that's exactly. I was about to say, you can just help people find banger reps, and eventually they're like, I don't really want to manage the sales side. Can you do it? And now you have. I have like some low ticket courses, and I do take some consulting calls on the side. It's not like a significant portion of our revenue, but I could see it evolving into the same thing. It's like, wow, this was so good. Like, you helped me build my brand so well. Can you just like do it for me now? It's kind of the same thing. I think striking a balance is important. I mean, even at the highest level, just so people could see the vision, like look at like a company like McKinsey. It's one of the biggest companies in the world, and it's an info business. So if you could strike that balance between dumb for you and dumb for you, dumb with you, you can kind of go pretty insane.
Yeah, man. That's the more that, I mean, we're still new in the grand scheme of things with the agency, like doing significant volume. Like we're still newer to that, but like we'd love to also get some clients like recurring monthly, where it's just like strictly consulting, because we are getting to the point where like bandwidth wise, we're being more selective with who we come in and like fully manage sales teams for. But that would be so cool to have like 5-10 clients, 5K a month. You just meet with them every week or something like that. The margin on that has to go crazy. So
I think what is like Cole doing? It's like 64K a year for the 8-figure boardroom. Like, I mean, that's basically that. That's essentially consulting for 60K a year, and it's like all big ass info businesses.
Yeah, that'd be sick, man. How when it comes like to you specifically in sales in your agency, we already talked about like why you're still on these calls, why it doesn't really make sense for you at this time to try to get someone in there. But like, I know you're more of kind of like I'm not going to say introverted, but you're definitely more of like the to yourself kind of guy, similar to me. Like, I'm not just the loudest one in the room, drawing attention, all that stuff. I mean, I can talk to people, we can both do that, but like, what have you seen to really help you sales wise, like to close people on your agency that might not see the value from from the jump? Like, how do you go about that?
Yeah, I definitely am an introvert, but I think there is like a kind of introvert that knows how to like turn it off for business, and I feel like that's us. I know a lot of these big business owners are introverts, right? Like Elon Musk and stuff. But if you just know like you have to turn it off for certain times. But so I could be social. Anyways, for me, like the two biggest things for having a good closer, I think my close rate's probably like close to 40% at this point. Because I don't even take calls if they're bad quality, so I have like a pretty good close rate. And I do mostly one call closes, which is also pretty rare for an agency. I'd say like 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10 calls ends up being a 2 call close. But I'm really big on frameworks. I think that helps me a lot. Just having a framework so that I don't go and yap for 45 minutes is really helpful. So like I personally use the closer framework. So using the closer framework has been super helpful. And you could just Google it if you're listening and you don't know what it is. That's been really helpful as a guide. Another framework that I use that actually Julia taught me, my girlfriend, who's a very successful 7-figure coach. It's more so just like current situation, desired situation, bridge the gap. That's also pretty overpowered now that I started using it. I'm like, so where are you now? And like, where do you want to be? Oh, we could do that. It's like pretty simple, especially if you have trust in a personal brand. I'd say the other thing is the personal brand being pretty helpful. Like people now just kind of like know what I do and know that we get results. So I don't really have to convince people that we get results. It's more so I have to convince them that it's a right fit for them. And honestly, the last part of it is that I don't really try to convince people. I more so just like tell them what we do and say like, you can if you want. I don't really offer people who aren't a good fit either. I don't like selling, so I don't like taking people on against their will, which I think a lot of sales guys pressure themselves, maybe because they're on a bad offer or the product's not good, or maybe they just have no conviction. Like I have a lot of conviction, so I don't need to try and sell people. I'm like, you can come if you want. We do this every day. I don't need to like, and also I don't need you guys. Like I don't need the client. So it's like, that's also part of it. I think if you're operating from scarcity, like people can smell the desperation on you, even through the camera. So I never feel desperate because I'm not desperate. I don't need people like that because we only need a few clients, which is the benefit of running agencies like ours, where you have like big percentage deals, is you get to be picky. Yeah. So those are kind of, those things all culminate together. The personal brand, the frameworks, and then the lack of desperation. I think those three things counteract the introversion a lot.
Yeah, definitely. The personal brand is a game changer, dude. Like, I mean, I see it all the time. Like, if you, let's say hypothetically, you put a closer into your agency and they started taking all the calls, you'd probably close more deals. You'd probably have shorter LTV. You'd probably have clients that weren't a perfect fit get in, because that person is like, you know, people don't get into sales to scrape by, you know, like they get into sales to make as much money as they can in a lot of cases. And like, if they are only paid when somebody joins, like regardless of if they're a good fit or not, they're going to do their best. Unless they have like a packed calendar and plenty of opportunities. But it sounds like, you know, you're not taking 5 sales calls a day, which is just not the case to stick a closer
in a week. Yeah, 2 to 3 a week at most. I don't need more. You know what I mean? If I'm closing at the rate that I say I'm closing, you know, 30 to 40%, and I have 2 to 3 good quality leads, like that's 2 to 3 clients a month. I can't even handle that. Yeah. So it's like, it's honestly less. It's like 10 a month. So yeah, I think that's usually, and also it depends on the business. Like if I want clients, I actually learned this from Moser. If I want clients, I will just do and go and get clients, because it's like fairly easy to get clients when you don't have a lot of capacity. People are like, they want to work with you and you can't take them for a certain amount of time, kind of like a wait list. So like if it's a month where I'm trying to replace some bad clients, then I'll just have more sales calls, which is a good piece of value I would share. I know it's not like an agency owner pod, but I learned this from, who did I learn this from? Sean Hanif, GenFlow, $100 million agency, that they categorize their clients into 4 tiers. It's essentially like client portfolio management, which is really important as an agency owner. And it's like the tier 4 clients, there's tier 1 through 4. I don't know the two middle ones, but the tier 4 clients, who are your bottom tier clients, low priority, low energy, etc. Those clients you want to deprioritize and essentially drop and replace them. And the tier 1 clients, you want to prioritize and invest in them. So, like, for example, I paid for a LinkedIn consultant last month. I just hired a graphic designer who is starting to do like carousels and graphics, and I'm investing in my priority clients and working on replacing some of our lower priority clients. That's honestly been a game changer for me, because I originally thought like all churn's bad churn, but it's not the truth. You need to churn some people. It's called healthy churn. If you're not churning some clients, you're probably not moving the business forward as much as you can be.